Hello to all of the members and associates of the Australian Association of Psychologists. I'm your President, Paul Stevenson, and it is my very pleasant duty today to say to you Merry Christmas. I hope you have a wonderful festive season and a very happy and safe New Year. Look, while I'm here, most of you will see the newsletter which tells you what's been happening of late, but I thought I'd just put it in a nutshell for you. Of late, we've made leaps and bounds in our advocacy on your behalf to the Minister for Health, the Honourable Greg Hunt. We went down to see the Minister a couple of weeks ago, Michael Poynter and myself, and we led a delegation of some other interested parties. We have the support now of RAPS and Equity in Psychology and the Australian Psychologists Facebook, and so we went down as a delegation of 4 to meet the Minister and his assistant Michael Gardner, and we had a very, very fruitful time indeed. This was the last sitting day of Parliament and probably the busiest day of the year for them, but they gave us an hour of their time, and that was really very special, I think. The Minister has been incredibly committed to seeing fairness and democracy through professional associations and for the governance of psychology in this country, and he has been very supportive to us during the year. Now, I was able to say to Mr. Hunt, yeah, our platforms are, as always, we want to abolish the 2-tier Medicare rebate system, we want to abolish endorsement because it's so unfair and non-standardised, and we want to return an unrestricted licence to practice to the benchmark of the full registration with the Psychologists Board of Australia. That's always been our aim, and so we sat around and talked about that for a while. The Minister quite reasonably said to me, Paul, you always come here with the problem, you don't bring the solution, what is it? And Michael Poynter was actually able to explain to the Minister that on the Psychologists Board of Australia we have 7 of the 8 positions for psychologists taken by the clinical faction. And while ever this is the case, and while ever the people that are governing the profession in the country are the ones who will benefit from the 2-tier system, it's unlikely that that will change. And so we then sat down and had a think about it ourselves, and we decided that maybe our strategy for next year is quite obvious. We need to reconfigure the Psychologists Board. We need to restructure it. We need to make it more reflective and more representative of the people that it purports to support. And so here's a situation where just clinicals are stacking the board. Where are the other 6 streams? You know, where are the forensics, the organisationals, the socials and the health and the counselling and the developmentals? Where are all the other streams? And, you know, we just have to look at this now very intensively and see if there are any ways in which we can work with COAG or the government services and with Medicare to effect a more level playing field. And I think that the way to go is through a reconstruction of the Psychologists Board of Australia. Look, that's where we're heading for next year. We've had indications of positivity from everywhere. It's lovely to be supported by RAPS and Equity in Psychology and the Australian Psychologists Facebook. I was able to say to the Minister quite openly that with the AAP's 7,000 strong database and the 2,000 strong following for the Australian Psychologists Facebook, along with all of the members of RAPS, and I can't even tell you how many there are, at Equity Psychology, we're servicing at least half of all practicing psychologists in this country, and that number of people is hearing our voice, and that's a very, very effective voice. And so for next year we're going to concentrate on that, and you will know already that we've quadrupled our membership base and revenue base this year. and we've doubled our legal fighting fund. That has been the strength of commitment by you during this last year. Most of our subscriptions, our rush of subscriptions, came in from May to July, and that's pretty significant too, because I have to say that is the renewal period for other associations and societies, and we've managed to quadruple our database of members in that time. So we're heading for a bumper year next year. We're feeling very refreshed and invigorated, and all we want now is for you to join us again next year, to keep up the spirits, to keep on fighting for a level playing field, for democracy, diversity and unity. That's our catchphrase from this last year: democracy, diversity and unity, and help us to support you through the next year. So again, have a very Merry Christmas, have a very safe New Year, and we look forward to welcoming you all back again next year for what all indications would say will be another fantastic year for the AAP. So thank you and Merry Christmas.